And somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. And in his final words I found an ace that I could keep. 150 minutes. I felt one way before, differently throughout. Talked sparingly. Felt relatively okay, near good by the time to now. When did I feel better? Shrug. What did I hear? Shrug. I do know that I got a really good vibe off of one person in particular that was only honestly giving himself his own self-appraisal. It was really good. I needed that. Well-balanced, thoughtful, and insightful. Cool, cool, cool. He did say something toward the end that resonated well with where I am and what is currently perplexing me. I can use that. I actually made a deliberate extra effort to go and thank him before he left. I didn't say why, naturally. And then off I went. It felt important that he know that I found his being there helpful to my sanity, well-being, and emotional state. I was glad he was there. I'm also surprised that I'm okay with the recovery Bible meeting after the regular meeting. Been a couple months now. I still don't get it, but I don't have to. It is all related anyway. I'm familiar with enough to be able to understand and still contribute. I have something to share, my novel perspective. What I don't know, what I know that I don't know, what I don't know that I know, it all adds something, even if it is confusing. I mostly listen. I like stories. The only negative that I will mention that I picked up on again and couldn't stop noticing was the talking down to people by one who is making assumptions. Yes, he does have the most practice of having time in recovery, but that doesn't mean he knows how best to live this program. He only knows his story, his program, what has worked for him. People aren't dumb, don't need to patronize. People are where they are at. Same goes for him. Same goes for me. And the incessant obsession with receiving acknowledgement that he is as great as he thinks he is, I make it a point to not enable that belief structure. I will concede and give the tiniest nods of agreement if I hear something interesting. But just because they are talking doesn't automatically mean it is groundbreaking, revelational news that we ought to be paying rapt attention to. Just another person in recovery with some time who believes they know a thing or two because they have seen a thing or two. And yes, that is true. But I can't tell someone how to get sober. I can only share what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. The rest of the gaps get filled in naturally over time. I tend to prefer the meetings with newcomers or people with less practice, just because they aren't so adamant that they have the solution. It is not that I like to live in limbo, but I like my reality to remain flexible to accommodate the ever-changing requirements of the world in which I happen to exist. It gets crazy in this mind of mine, but I'm learning to roll with it, not to panic over every passing thought and every fleeting emotion, everything in its own time. I am working at this life of mine as though my life depended on it, because it does. Before recovery, I didn't have anything I valued, let alone cherished. Didn't really care whether I lived or died. Kind of was leaning towards dying, because living, that whole thing, oofta. But now, where I'm at, I feel attached to my life more, almost like I care about living. I know, it is strange, but here we are. And it is the damnedest thing, caring about the welfare of others. It sort of sucks in a way, because when they go and hurt themselves, I feel bad, selfish. I know far too many people for my comfort, I think. I find it difficult. But I used to think that by removing everyone from my life, I would find whatever it was. I am very known nowadays by a small group of people. It is a measure of safety, accountability, and continuity, or something, part of the deal. And having something worth saying, and this poetry thing recently, and time. And what was that? I'm still not sure what that was. It was some of my best, but it was only a direct mirror inspiration. I was reflecting the spirit, energy, and passion that I saw. I translated it back via my own experience of the same desire, like speaking in tongues. It just poured. Just describing imagery, I still haven't gotten over it. I'm glad I got to be a part of it. Dueling poetry. Something like that. Is it over? Might be. Was kind of hoping it might continue. Time will tell. Time makes fools of us all. I may be the fool, but I am trying not to act the fool. I don't always succeed. In fact, I fail more than I care for, but oh well. As long as I keep the whole deal, it has a really good chance of working out in something resembling a life that will have been beyond my wildest dreams. The thing is, I stopped dreaming for a long time, like a long, long time. No dreams. Multiple meanings. Only in recent years have my dreams begun, for real, and in earnest. I have the ability now to enact my dreams in motion. I can exercise my dreams. I can seek them out and communicate with them. It isn't easy, but I know it is possible, making the impossible possible. Magic. Share a spell. Many possible permutations. Infinite.